Who are you? Good, glorious morning, everyone. It is Friday. This is Cultivate Conscious Moments with Austin James Haynes, 19-year employee to poet. We're going to dive in today. This is going to be an amazing episode. So stay with us. I'll be right back. Welcome back. And it is Friday. It's April 26th. It's 8:16 a.m. in the morning at the time of this video. And I want to invite you to pause for a moment. Are you able to pause for a singular moment in time? A brief pause in your life. A cessation of the obsession of thinking. Close your mouth. Breathe in through your nose, imagining that air just filling up your head, going down, going up through your nose, up through your nose, down. Just imagine it going up, down, deep into your lungs, filling your lungs to capacity. Belly expands, your biochemistry changes, starts to shift ever so slightly. We condition the breath on the show because the mind is always hyperactive and the nervous system follows suit. When you pause, you ground into the moment. I'm going to share a Rumi poem. It's National Poetry Month. This is Cultivate Conscious Moments with Austin James Haynes. If you're on TikTok, go over and check out the YouTube, the channel, Austin James Haynes. We are here to feed your heart and soul to connect with something beyond the superficial. So if you go over to the YouTube channel, you'll see the full show. But I want to jump right in. It's National Poetry Month. I'm a 19-year employee to poet. I'm going to share a Rumi poem with you today from the book by Coleman Barks. It's called A Year with Rumi. And this poem just, boom, showed up when it needed to. It's called The Well. The Well. We seem to be sitting still, but we are actually moving. And the fantasies of phenomena are sliding through us like ideas through curtains. They go to the well of deep love inside each of us. They fill their jars there and they leave. There is a source they come from and a fountain inside here. Here we go. This is it. Be generous and grateful. Confess when you are not. We cannot know what the divine intelligence has in mind. Who am I standing in the midst of this thought traffic? Who are you standing in the midst of your thought traffic? I'm going to go deeper today. That's the poem. I have more to share with you. But now I'm going to move over to give some more context to that poem. Rather than me talk about it, I'm going to share with you from Eckhart Tolle's book called Oneness with All Life. And this is going to take a couple minutes to read, so hang with me, but it's worth it. And avoid getting hung up on words. Extract the essence of the message. When you contemplate the unfathomable depth of space or listen to the silence in the early hours just before sunrise, something within you resonates. Something within you resonates with it as if in recognition. You then sense the vast depth of space as your own depth. And you know that precious stillness that has no form to be more deeply who you are than any of the things that make up the content of your life. The twofold reality of the universe, which consists of things and space, things and space, thingness and nothingness or no thingness, is also your own. Here, listen, a sane, balanced, and fruitful human life is a dance between the two dimensions that make up reality, from space and form. Most people are so identified with the dimension of form, with sense perceptions, thoughts, and emotions, that the vital hidden half is missing from their lives. Their identification with form keeps them trapped in ego. I had two more little paragraphs to read here. Just as space enables all things to exist, and just as without silence there could be no sound, you would not exist without the vital, formless dimension that is the essence of who you are. We could say God if that word had not been so misused. I prefer to call it being. Being is prior to existence. Existence is form, content, quote unquote, what happens. Existence is the foreground of life. Being is the background, as it were. This is worth here, right here, this paragraph. The collective disease of humanity is that people are so engrossed in what happens, so hypnotized by the world of fluctuating forms, so absorbed in the content of their lives, they have forgotten the essence that which is beyond content, beyond form, beyond thought. They are so consumed by time, they have forgotten eternity, which is their origin, their home, their destiny. Eternity is the living reality of who you are. That was a book from, or excerpt from Eckhart Tolle, Oneness with All Life. And I'm going to add my own commentary to this because I was reflecting on this. And what I wrote down was this. Who are you? So who are you? Easy question. Who are you? So I wrote, you are in the continual discovery of the truth that resides deep in your being. This truth reveals itself in the moments when you are fully conscious and present. Stillness, void of thinking, creates the environment for this truth to rise in you. Think about that. Think about the entire concept of the truth rising up in you. And I have a couple poems that I wrote that I'm going to share. I have one that speaks to this. It's a short little poem, short little read. And I'll read that now and pull that up. When the soul speaks, it's undeniable. Although a whisper in this moment, it transcends all the noise of the feeble mind. If acted upon, this soul whisper carries for miles and miles through your being, permeating all beings. The canvas of infinity is changed. When the soul speaks, when the truth rises up in you, it's undeniable. Although a whisper in this moment, it transcends all the noise of the feeble mind. If acted upon, this soul whisper carries for miles and miles through your being, permeating all beings. The canvas of infinity is changed. It's called a soul whisper. A soul whisper. That's a poem I wrote to add some more context to this. But the noise of the mind can really cause us to get caught up in the world. Can get caught up in the world. So let's talk about, I got two poems I'm going to share. It's National Poetry Month, everybody. Did you know that? Poetry is an art form that it's changed my life. Poetry, I'd be shocked if you told me that when I was in my early 20s, 25, if you said, yeah, you're going to be a poet, I would have said, what? No, yeah, I would never have thought about that idea of me being a poet. But it's something that keeps growing and evolving, and I want it to feed your heart and soul. So if you're getting value from this, please tap the screen. I got 0 likes. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. Any feedback. All right, let me go back to this other poem here. Where is it? Okay, we're going to dig back here. Where did that poem go? I know I have it. Let's see. All right, let me read this other one that I have. I have to pull that one up. All right, let me read this one because I had another one. I'm not sure what happened to it, but we'll find it. All right, so this one is stressed to blessed. Stressed to blessed. I was stressed and cluttered. My emotions clattered. My thoughts became scattered. My longing soul became tattered. I walked away and stuttered. My reputation shattered. My ego splattered. Myself free from being flattered. I paused, looked up. Not a word was uttered. My eyes fluttered. My enemies shuddered. My heart reconnected to what truly mattered. My soul muttered, I am love. And there's one other poem that I wanted to share, and I'm going to dig it up for you. Feel free to chime in if you're here. I know I got the dates. I'll be able to dig up the date for you, and we can go through this last poem and let this touch you today. Let this touch you. Life is happening for you. Maybe that doesn't make sense for you in this moment, but in some way, think about challenges and problems that you had, and maybe a problem that you have in your life right now is because it's to interrupt the coasting and the waiting. I just have this sense, knowing from my own story, that we can coast and wait, coast and wait, coast and wait. And think about it. I'm not talking about patience. I'm not talking about you're a farmer, you planted the seed, you watered, you fertilized, you're keeping an eye over them to make sure the pests stay away. And that's an active patience. I'm talking about you're just coasting and you don't have any intention. You're just waiting. And I feel like most of us can live in a state of coasting and waiting. And a problem is a wake up call from coasting and waiting, and also an invitation to get better and not to, because when a problem happens, we got two choices. We're going to get pulled up, we're going to get called up, or we're going to get dragged down, up or down. And that lies within us. When we actively choose what our response is going to be, and we might lose it and become unraveled and angry and upset. But at some point, there's going to be a choice that we have to make, and we can choose to be angry, bitter, resentful, entitled, or we can choose to become the catalyst, and we can choose to make those necessary changes. Let me read this poem. This was May 19th. I think this was last year. I was visiting the Edgar Allan Poe home in Philadelphia. And I wrote a poem there, which I'm not going to read that poem now, but I wrote this other poem. I was at Franklin Square in Philadelphia, and I wrote this poem, 3:55 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's called Fever Pitch. Fever Pitch. A fever pitch, pace, humming, and hypnotizing, slowly stifles the soul and avoids harmonizing. One's true essence faded to opaque. Seems everyone wants to take, take, take. Never enough scarcity takes hold. Where are the strong, courageous, the bold? Where are the great givers, the servers yet true? To maintain boundaries, the only altruism that'll do. Dehypnotize yourself, you of humble means. History has lent us so many scenes. Give, provide value, avoid the scream and shout. Circumvent, avert, avoid doubt. Noise gets your attention. Serve thy neighbor. Seems the world is waiting for you. It's called Fever Pitch. Thank you so much for being here. My engagement is a little low here on TikTok, but we're live here on YouTube. You can go over to YouTube and subscribe to see the full show. My name is Austin James Haynes. This is Cultivate Conscious Moments. And I want to hear from you. If you are listening to this on the playback, let me know what moved you, touched you. Was there something here? Where did you feel something rise up in you? If I go back to this final quote, I'll leave with this because this is what I wrote. And I want you to, my intention is that something here feeds your heart and soul, and that something rises up in you that is unexpected joy, unexpected peace, presence, a full conscious moment when you're fully alive, and you may not recognize it, but it's there. And maybe you today, because you jumped on here, you recognize it. It says, you are in the continual discovery of the truth that resides in your being. This truth reveals itself in the moments when you are fully conscious and present. Stillness, void of thinking, creates the environment for this truth to rise in you. My name's Austin James Haynes. I'm going to run this till the end of the month. This is Cultivate Conscious Moments. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. If something moved you, if something provoked you, stoked you, evoked you, inspired you, click one thing. Like, subscribe, share. God bless everybody. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for being here.